Hey guys, in today's video we are going to talk about how to let go. One of the most important topics, I think, one of the most important topics for me, because I've been struggling with letting go of every single thing in my life. But then I just figured out how to, and I want to share, so keep on watching. First of all, there are so many things that you could possibly let go of. For example, that could be an ex that you know is no longer serves your highest good and you just need to detach yourself from him or her. And then there could be this desire you want to manifest and you feel like you know you have to detach yourself from that desire so it can go ahead and realize itself into your reality. Then there is letting go of someone you've never dated, never known, but you in your own mind actually imagine that perfect picture of that someone, and now it hurts to actually think or fantasize about that person because your reality of not having him hurts, and you thinking about him and fantasizing about something that is never going to happen also hurts, and you have to let go of that and detach yourself. And then there is letting go of your past and your past patterns, your past habits, your past assumptions about yourself. There is letting go of the version of you who constantly thinks I'm not enough for anything in life. There is letting go of the person who doesn't choose you. So you basically detaching yourself from something that will never happen for you and go ahead and become the best version of yourself instead. How do we do that? First of all, let's go and define what do we mean by letting go. What do we want to achieve by letting go of all the things that I just mentioned, and obviously how we want to feel after that. Obviously, we want to let go of all the things because we want to feel free emotionally. We want to feel like we don't depend on anything in this life emotionally. So we are trying to actually detach ourselves from everything, from all the people, events, and circumstances, because first of all, nothing ever on this earth belongs to us. And so this is the most wise thing we could do, let go of everything. And another thing that is really important is that you understand why exactly you can't let go. Because it is important to you, because you're scared to lose something or someone forever, because you're scared to lose control of something. And finally, when you are trying to manifest something into your life and you cannot seem to let go of this desire, you are just scared of letting this go because you're scared to lose control. You're scared that the universe or God might think that you actually don't want it anymore. So that's why you let go and you detach yourself. But that is not true. Detaching and letting go actually means something different than losing control, than not wanting this thing or person anymore, right? It means that you let go of the control, that you let go of trying to control something that you cannot control, that you actually trust God and the universe for them to provide your desire to you in the best way possible. Now, obviously, your ego wants control and certainty all the time. That's why you tell yourself consciously, okay, you know what, I let go of this thing, but then you find yourself actually again obsessively thinking about that thing over and over again, and that's just really your ego trying to control the situation. But that's actually totally fine, because that is already one step closer to letting go of anything. And then again, you need to realize and understand that it's not just one-time thing. You cannot think like, okay, you know what, like right now I decide that I let go of whatever I want to let go. For example, I let go of my past and my past patterns, but that is not a one-time thing. You cannot just decide that you let go of that right now and that's it, you let go and you forgot about it, when really you are actually used to constantly doing that thing over and over again. For example, For example, you believe that you're not enough, okay? And that is something that people have been telling you since you were born, and that is something you actually believed your whole life, and that assumption always dictated your behavior, always dictated everything that was occurring in your reality, right? And then right now, as you grew up and you became an adult and you realize that that's actually a limiting belief, and you want to get rid of that because that limiting belief actually doesn't give you freedom and space to grow and become the best version of yourself. And then you sit down and you think, okay, you know what, I am letting go of this version of me that thinks that she's not enough because I am tired, basically. And but actually then you will catch yourself thinking those things over and over again, because your mind is already used to thinking that, is already used to believing that. And to actually get rid of that limiting belief, you need to choose to consciously let go of that thing over and over again. Like, catch yourself in the midst of a situation when you think or you feel like your mind actually gives you that limiting belief again and again. Like, for example, somebody gives you a very nice position in a very nice company, and then you feel like your subconscious mind is telling you, you know, you don't deserve that, you're not enough, you're not smart enough to be in that, like, to get that position, right? And then you catch yourself in the moment and you tell yourself, no, I am enough, you are wrong, I am enough. And you do that every single time that occurs in your mind, and that is how you get rid of that limiting belief. That's how you let go of the version of you that constantly believed something you don't want to believe anymore. You know that version of you doesn't serve you anymore and doesn't serve your highest good. Okay, I am the person that always struggled with letting go. For example, I had times when I would see a guy and I would like fantasize about him, oh my god, he's this, he's that, and so on. And then I would make up scenarios in my mind that, wow, that would be so cool if he fell in love with me, and then we went out, blah blah blah. And then I would go ahead and look at my reality, and I would see no signs of that guy present in my reality, no signs of him actually telling me he loves me and he adores me and he wants to go out with me. And then I would get upset about it, and that would like continue over a period of time. And then I would think, you know what, it actually needs to stop. It actually hurts to think that, right? It actually hurts to think you cannot have that person. And then again, you consciously realize that you yourself made up his character in your own mind, and it doesn't mean that he is that person in reality. Maybe he is a completely different person, not maybe, 100%, I'm telling you, because we always as human beings tend to fantasize of the ideal man, of the ideal woman, of the ideal person, partner, and so on. But that is not true, because no one is perfect in this life, and you actually believing that that person is something you made up to be in your own mind is you yourself hurting yourself. And then there is person who doesn't choose you, but you know you have feelings for them. For example, I had feelings for a person who never showed interest in me, who was actually, I knew for a fact, was interested in another girl, and they were dating, they were going out, whatever. And I knew that I fell in love with that guy for years, guys. I would think about that person for years, and I knew he had no interest in me whatsoever, and I would always obsess over him. And that was like super sick, because see, when you attach yourself to someone who doesn't choose you, who doesn't show any interest in you, that is you actually losing your energy to that person and to the circumstances and events that are never occurring in your life. That will just never happen. And at one point, you just sit down and realize that you need to let go and detach yourself from that person for your own good, because that is not serving your highest good, that is not doing any good to you actually. And you know consciously that it's best for you to just let finally that thing go. And obviously this is so hard when you've been obsessing over a person for years, guys. Every single day you wake up and you think about that person, you go to bed and you think about that person, and you're just so used to that the thought of letting go already seems so unfamiliar, already seems so far away from you. And then there comes a time when you're like, if I don't let go, that's it. Like, I am never manifesting anything better into my life. I am just losing my energy. I'm feeling like I'm not enough. I'm not feeling confident. I'm not loving myself by constantly obsessing over someone who is not choosing me. And actually that makes me believe that I am not good enough, right? Because in my mind, I am letting my mind think that I am choosing the person who doesn't choose me. And then my mind thinks, okay, then basically you're not enough. That's why. And at some point you just need to stop, because you get sick of that feeling of not being chosen, of not being respected, right? And you start actually applying techniques. You start actually thinking, of course, everything starts from decision, everything. Like, the first step you ever take in order to achieve anything in your life starts from one single committed decision to change that thing. And when you finally do, when you finally sit down and think, okay, you know what, I am letting go of that thing, I am detaching myself from that person that doesn't serve my highest good anymore, you just start actually applying techniques. And just like I said before, you start catching yourself in a moment, like in the moment that you again start obsessively thinking about him or her, and then checking their socials. What are they up to? What are they doing? How do they look right now? Who they spend their time with? Where are they at the moment? And so on and so forth. Like, this is obsession, okay? And this is sick, because I have experienced that on myself, and I know how sick it is, because you actually start losing yourself in the process. You actually lose yourself, guys, because you're giving out your whole energy, your whole power to that situation that is never happening in your life, okay? And you know what I did? I started using meditations, guided meditations for letting go, and I started visualizing so many things. Like, I think it's common and everyone knows that, but it's so powerful. Like, you just visualize a balloon and how you let that balloon go, and you watch it like flow in the sky and going away from you, and that balloon is actually that person that you're trying to let go of, or event, or anything that you're trying to let go, your past, your whatever, okay? And that's not only the only technique that I used so many, but then I would constantly fall down in a way that I still obsessively thought of that person. I still thought that, oh, if he came to me right now and said that he loves me, I would go and to go out with him. Yeah, this is embarrassing, guys, but I am here to actually share my experience so that you don't repeat my mistakes. And then, you know what I did? I called my friend that always supports me, that I tell everything to, and I told her, you know what, I am trying to let go of this person so hard, and it's not working out. Like, it's so bad. I am obsessing over him for years, and now when I already know, like consciously understand that it's time to let go, to detach myself in order to actually manifest something better into my life, something a person who actually chooses me at the first place, who actually respects me, who actually thinks I'm unique, I am extraordinary, who actually falls in love with my character. And I told her all these things, and I told her, okay, what do I do? I needed to hear the answer, okay? And then she said to me, you know, act like you let go, act like you detached yourself, even for yourself. Imagine that you have detached yourself from that person. Close your eyes and imagine that, and then keep that feeling for as long as possible and actually act like you have detached yourself, or like fake it till you make it, right? And I was and that was something new that I heard. Because I've already tried so many things and I needed to hear something new, something that could give me hope. And I actually started to act like I let go, and I asked myself, what would I do if I let go? What would I do? What would I feel like? How would I act? How would I walk? And so on. And I asked myself all those questions, and then I went ahead and I started to actually act like I detached. I stopped checking their socials. Actually, for me to not go and again check their socials, I actually deleted social media where I could check their socials, and I deleted everything. And I started, and every time a thought popped in my mind of that person, I would sit and I was like watching that thought as if it wasn't me, a part of me, but as if I was watching it like a movie, right? And that what I call detachment, even if it's your thought, but you just observe it, you just observe that thought. I feel like you just detach yourself from those thoughts. And that's what I did. I actually observed it, and I didn't feel it like it was a part of me. I actually just let it be. I stopped fighting those thoughts, because see, when you start fighting, when you start resisting, that thing actually persists. And that is something I also learned when I was trying to manifest something that I did attach myself to. And I knew that in order to manifest that thing, I had to detach myself. And guess what, guys? It worked out. I finally let go of that person. And every time a thought of that person pops in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, no, I don't want to think about it. Because see, when you detach yourself finally from a person that you were blindly in love with, you finally open your eyes and you see that person for who he or she is. And you finally look at him and you think, oh my God, is that the person that I was obsessing myself over? And you cannot believe that even, you know, because every single thing in life, like I have realized that from that situation, that every single thing in life is actually important to you. Excuse me, is actually important to you because you give your emotions to that thing, because you feel that thing with your own energy, with your own emotions. And when the time comes and you actually take that energy and take that power back to you, that thing just stays empty, and you see it for what it is, nothing. Because that is nothing until you feel it with your own emotions. And that actually concerns every single person you want to let go of, every single event or situation, every single version of yourself you want to let go of, and every single past versions of yourself you want to let go of, and every single manifestation, obviously. Okay, now let's talk about the power of surrender. Surrendering everything that you're holding here and isn't giving you a freedom to live your life however you want to live it. Surrendering all these things to God, the universe, or your higher self. This is something so powerful that you need to learn to do. Because see, when you attach yourself to someone who, like in my situation, wasn't interested in me, and I actually fantasized their version in my own head, and I couldn't detach myself, and I would constantly obsess over that person. In that situation, you surrender that person or any situation, everything. You just surrender to God and the universe in actually asking them to give you first of all, you call your power back, just like I said before, and then you ask God and the universe to actually give you something much better, something that is going to serve your highest good, something that is going to result in something great in your life, right? It doesn't only concern people, it also concerns things and any situation, anything in your life, honestly, because we tend to attach ourselves to a lot of things in our lives. For example, you can attach yourself to your childhood, to the versions of yourself that you were when you were a child or a teenager, and then when you became an adult, you constantly feel like you want to go back and be that person. You want to have that power, have that interest in life, because see, when you grow up and you become older, you actually disappoint in a lot of things, and by that you kind of lose your power, you kind of lose your faith in something really great like you did when you were a child. And it feels like when you were a child or when you were a teenager, it seemed like the world was much more beautiful than it is right now. But it honestly depends on your conception of this world and of yourself, of your reality, right? And it seems like you attach yourself to that and you cannot finally let go of all those versions. Or for example, you had a traumatic past and you also cannot detach yourself from that past, and you feel like whatever mistakes you made in your past or whatever bad other people did to you, it serves your present self right here and right now, and you feel like you are not enough because of what happened to you in the past and because of the mistakes that you did in the past. And you feel like you cannot be loved anymore because you made those mistakes, because other people did something wrong to you in the past. And you want to let go of that, you want to finally forget all those things. But see, the power of surrender actually helps you in giving all those things up to God and the universe, because you cannot carry all things. And that is something so true about human beings, right? We cannot carry all the past hurts, wounds, traumas, everything, like mistakes, and yet be the best versions of ourselves in the present moment, and yet still dreaming about a better future for ourselves, right? We cannot do that because that is just so much to take in. And so basically, in order to move on, in order to finally believe that you are not what happened to you in the past, you are not your past, and you can finally actually believe that there are great things waiting for you in your future or in your present circumstances, that you actually deserve the good things that are happening to you or will happen to you or you want them to happen to you. So basically, in any situation, you just surrender everything up to God and the universe and let them carry all those things for you. Just like I said, your past, every single thing that happened to you in the past, and it feels like it's actually weighing you down right now in your present, and you feel like that actually controls your present, because that happens. But really, it is you who is letting your past to control your present, and not like, see, the past tense, the past version of you, the past version of the people that were in your life, right? It's all in the past. It is really a time frame, and like, see, that happened and that situation has ended. That's it. It has ended and it's left in the past. but then you go ahead and you take that situation and bring it to your present with you, and then take the situation and go to your future with that. Why are you doing this? You have to realize that your past has ended. It's finished. It's happened, and it's time to let that go. And when you really can't let that go, just surrender this up to God and the universe and tell them, please hold this for me. Please carry this for me, because I cannot do this anymore. And actually say that, because you are a human being and you cannot carry every single thing with you all the fucking time, okay? And sit, look up at the sky and talk to God and the universe and feel like they are listening to you. And it's fine. Even if you start crying, go and cry. It will actually help. And say, I cannot do this anymore. Can you please carry this, because I can't. And then you call your power back. And it's not only in this situation, you can also surrender, for example, an event or circumstance that you want to see in your life, or anything like any of your manifestations. For example, you want to manifest anything into your life and you cannot detach yourself emotionally from that thing, because you are scared to lose control, or you're scared that the universe or God will think you are not interested in that thing anymore and you don't want that thing anymore, and they will not give you. And this fear of losing control over that manifestation is holding you back, and actually you're losing extra energy on that thing. And when you actually surrender this desire up to God and the universe, you're saying, okay, I trust you with that. I did my thing. I applied all the techniques. I visualized, I scripted, I believe, I have faith, and I know I deserve that thing, and I know that thing will serve my highest good. And now I surrender this up to you, and go ahead and please do this in the best way possible for me. Another thing that I realized is that when you obsess over something and you attach yourself to something so badly, it's you actually not having other things to do in your life. Well, it was in my case. When I didn't have goals, when I wasn't into self-development, when I wasn't into anything that could actually potentially change my life for the better or myself, I would constantly obsess, like I told you, over a person, over manifesting something that wasn't serving my highest good or anything like that, okay? But then when I started to have goals, when I finally realized what I want to do in my life, when I realized what is important to me, what would actually result in a great outcome for me, I started to work towards those things. I started working towards bettering my own self, towards self-development. I started reading a bunch of books on self-development. Like, I read so many, you have no idea, and actually reread them. And I watched so many videos on YouTube on self-development. I listened to so many podcasts. I would also constantly take notes of what is important for me, of what I didn't know but is super important in order to change yourself and your life. And when I started having those goals, when I started actually working towards something that was important to me, I stopped obsessing over unnecessary things. I stopped obsessing over things that actually stole my energy. Because energy is so priceless. Energy is something that is just vital for you to do anything in your life. And that's why you have to always watch out for the things and people that you give out your energy to. And something super inspirational I want to tell you from my own example is that when I attached myself to my desire, to my manifestation, and I couldn't detach, I wanted to control that. I didn't want the universe to think I didn't want that thing anymore and not give it to me. I was so scared of losing that desire that I was working for a long time, right? And see, when I finally detached myself from that desire, when I no longer felt like that was actually, I don't know, pulling me down, right? And I started thinking about that thing in a positive way, in a not, if I don't get it, I'll die way. And then that happened so fast. So fast, guys, in a matter of days. Everything you desire is within your reach and will happen so fast when you finally let go and surrender, because you will start to actually letting the universe know that you already have that thing. You don't feel desperate for that thing anymore. You don't feel desperate for that person anymore. You are whole within yourself, and you know that you deserve that desire, and that desire will come to you at the right time when you are ready, and it will be in the best way possible for you, period. And finally, the last thing for this video, I prepared 3 affirmations for you to repeat every single day. The first one is, I trust the universe to guide me to what is meant for me. What is mine will always find me. I release control and open my hands to receive. Repeat these 3 affirmations every single day, or any time that you feel like you're attaching yourself to something that you want to let go of, and feel the magic happen. Thank you for watching this video, guys. I hope you liked it, and I hope it was helpful for you, and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.